Hi, my name is Angie Breidenbach, and I'm the Executive Director for the International Institute of Genealogical Studies. And I got really excited because my friend Katy Lee, who has written dozens and dozens of books and is a qualified bestseller for the USA Today, I'm super excited to share her with you because even for the students of the International Institute of Genealogical Studies, this is an important interview. There are some super neat opportunities coming up. And Katy Lee, can you tell us a little bit about what you do that not only encompasses your writing skills and your teaching skills, but what do you do to help others learn how to write?
So one of my favorite things is paying this forward of helping people find the story locked within them and bringing it out, whether it's for a book or it's for an article or it's for a podcast or it's there's different ways that you can get your story out. So that is a passion of mine, and because of this, I hold retreats during the summertime for women writers or women who would like to write, and they can come and I help them from the beginning of the process right to the end. And I do have I can share this. I have some opportunities for this summer, and that is
That's looking gorgeous.
so this is going to be held in Huntsville, Utah at the Valley House Inn. And I offer the 4 days, 3 nights, as well as an extended one for six days. And you can go to my website, katyleebooks.com, to find out the particulars of what each of those retreats will include. So
How many people can be in each retreat? Wait, leave it up for a second. I want to
Okay.
see some more of this. How many people can be in each retreat?
So there are 4 rooms.
Okay.
So I do top it for women,
Uh-huh.
and they each have their own bedroom and their own bathroom.
Oh,
And as you can see, the rooms are artfully decorated, and each one
gorgeous.
is unique. Yes, yeah, in a beautiful little town surrounded by the mountains, so it's peaceful and yeah, it's just a wonderful place.
So this is an extended and sabbatical options that are coming up as well. But let's say they just want to do this weekend event or a 6-day-a-week event. How much do you think they can get done on their story if they're a beginning writer?
Right. So the 3-day one, typically when I hold these in the past, is you come depending where you are in your writing. If you're coming with nothing, then we would spend definitely those time unlocking that story, figuring out exactly what you're writing. If it is going to be for a novel, if it's going to be fiction, if it's going to be nonfiction, it can go either way for the writer, and we kind of work that together of what's the best way to get their story out. And so that first 3 days is going to be working on that. And then by the time they leave in those 3 days, their story, their book, their article, whatever it is that they're working on, is fully plotted out. So when they go back to their homes, they're ready to hit the ground running with the writing part. Now, if they stay longer to the 5-day, 6 day, 7 nights, or 6 nights, 7 days, you can actually get the first chapter or actually start working on it. And I am there to critique with them, help them with the writing part now. So it's not just getting the story ready. It's actually now let's write this and get it done. So yes, the longer one will go for that.
So that would be really good for a beginning writer, someone who's never written before. But what about someone who, like me, I've got 18 books out there. Some of them aren't in print anymore. How could you help someone like me, a more advanced writer?
Well, like I said, I start the same process no matter who is coming. I have a formula, I guess we could call it, process that I use that really brings out the story. So even someone who has written before, going through this process might say, wow, I never thought to do it this way, or I never never knew that there was more in me to come out, and you could have a whole different story. So the process is still the same, and it's just going through that step by step with me and working through that. So yes, you can still use the same process no matter where they are.
I actually really like that because I sometimes as a writer, it's a very solo job, right? And it's nice to have somebody give a little bit more, maybe even brainstorming
Yes.
to what you're doing, bounce ideas around.
Mhm.
And then do you work with them after they've left, or how does that go?
If people would like to continue to work with me, yes, that opportunity is available. I've worked with people from beginning to end, even to the point I have helped them publish it and, work on the cover and formatting and editing and all of that with them, brought it right to the end, the whole production of the book as well. And so that is an option. Absolutely. Yep. That
What?
at that point will be online with them.
Okay, and that I mean, obviously we're online together right now, and I could see us working together pretty easily. Um, Tell me a little bit more about what you have coming into the future.
Okay. So, like I said in the beginning, this is really a passion of mine. It really is a mission of mine. Seeing the story come alive for somebody that sometimes they come to me and they know they have a story in them, but they just don't know how to figure it out and how to get it down on paper. And watching it come alive for them is so rewarding. And so, what I am going to be doing now is I'm starting a nonprofit organization. So, Story Haven Writers will become a nonprofit. And this will enable women to come and stay with me for a month.
Mhm.
And they will have their own cabin. And I will put these up so you can give you an idea what this looks
Ah,
like at this point. Um,
absolutely.
but um, this
Look
is
at that.
this is what they'll look like. They have a full kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, little living room. There's a loft also for writing, little writing nooks. And what I like about this, and I work with the builder that I'm working with, is that he has them on wheels, which means that I could potentially move them to some pretty places. I would love to do a summer in Zion National Park
Oh
and
yeah.
place them in a location like that, or just wherever I can do that. So having them movable will be quite helpful.
That's stunning. And it's a tiny house. And
Yes,
does each person get their own little tiny house?
yes. Each person will have their own little tiny house to write in, and of course, I'm there to help them along the way.
I think
The
you
first,
need like she shed titles for each
yeah,
one of these houses.
right. That'd be
Do you have those?
really cute. So I would love to have four. I think six would be probably the top that I would look for. But the whole purpose is I'm applying for this nonprofit and making this a nonprofit so that I can now apply for grants.
Mm,
And I would like to make it so that I don't have to charge a woman to come and write, that they can come and have this space to find their voice, find uh, their message that they have. Because I know everyone has a story to tell and everyone has a message. And this is just, like I said, a passion of mine to help them find it.
This is excellent. I just have another little question for you.
Mhm.
What about genres? What kind of writing can you help people do?
Well, I have helped people with uh, any kind of fiction. Um, I struggle with the horror part.
Yeah, me too.
I'm helping someone right now with like this post-apocalyptic story, and it's like, oh, this is scaring me.
So it's
But
not that you can't help them write it. It's that personally, it's you're tender.
yes, exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
me too.
I've helped with nonfiction and figuring out a unique way of getting their message on the page. In the past, there's one woman that I helped with. She was in the business world, and um, she had a message that she wanted to share, and so we put this book together that would really cater toward people in the corporate world.
Perfect.
So yeah, I have done both fiction, nonfiction. I've done, I guess you call them memoirs with people who have taken journeys and they wanted to document their journey along the way, like they went through Europe. And I've helped them just kind of take out what should be in the book and what doesn't need to be. Because a lot
That's
of times,
really important.
yes, a lot of times they want to put everything out there. And it's like, well, you don't need to put everything out there to get your point across. and helping them really narrow that down to really focus it on what is your message, who is your reader or listener, depending what this is about. And remembering that you're writing for them always, and making sure that the message is coming across that's going to be most helpful for them.
Yeah,
And
there is a difference in cathartic journaling and actually taking what your message is and putting it into something that someone else consumes.
exactly.
It's a really big problem that a lot of people, when they've gone through some sort of an overcoming or healing journey, you know, we all want to write that cathartic stuff in it, but it's only good in a book insofar as it's actually helpful to the other party that's reading it or listening to it. Yeah.
Exactly. So what I have a process. In my process is, are you ready to tell your story? And a lot of times people come to me and they're not ready yet. And as I'm bringing them through and I get them to a point, I said, okay, if you haven't healed yet, you can't go any further. This last part of the book is going to be unfinished until you have gone through it, because you can't lead somebody to the end unless you have gone to the end.
Well, you think about that idea of leading a horse to water, you can't make him drink, but leading a horse to water, you don't want him to drink poison water either, because there might be bitterness in there that comes out in the writing and turns off the reader. You want them to be able to share the story of sweet water, where it's healing and it's good for your body and your soul, and it revives them.
I like that. That's a perfect way. Yes, the sweet water. Yep.
There's my skill as a writer.
Thank you. So so right now I'm holding this Kickstarter for the tiny homes. And the whole point of this too, like I said, I would like to have 4. I could go to 6, depending how much grant funding I could get with this. And the whole point, other than telling your story and finding your voice, is a community of writers. So these women that will come for the month, there is a whole community element to it, that they're working together on their own projects, but they're helping each other and getting through that process together. And it's my dream that bonding will continue after they leave the retreat.
Building people they can trust, and friendships, and today's world, that's a really hard thing to do. Let me ask you a couple more questions. Brought up the Quickstarter, Kickstarter, the blooper reel. So you brought up the Kickstarter, and so this is a fundraiser. And usually in Kickstarter, am I wrong? You have levels of things that people who donate to that can do. Tell me about that.
So there are levels. There's also some rewards, I guess, as you donate. And so if you go to my website, katyleebooks.com, you can go and you'll see the Kickstarter button. Then it'll bring you to the actual Kickstarter page, and you'll see all the rewards that are there for the. So yeah, so I have my own nonfiction book about preparing yourself for writing. Like I said before, sometimes people aren't ready. So I have 5 steps that they can go through. And this isn't a very big book. This is, it's a small little thing that they just cut out. I know there are so many writing books out there. And a lot of times we get stuck in these writing books that we're reading and we're not actually writing.
And the rules of writing and creating.
Right. So it's just something small, but I want people to be ready to write. And so those 5 steps are part of it. So that is one of the rewards there for people who donate, is they do get a copy, either ebook or paper of that preparing for your journey. And so there are still opportunities to sign up for my retreat. So as you donate, your money can also go towards your retreat. So if you donate through Kickstarter, you want to come to the retreat this summer, you are open to it because you just donated through the Kickstarter. So that option is there too. And I'm trying to think what else I have. I think I have like a fun T-shirt that just is inspiring. So that if there's someone who wants to donate and just wants the T-shirt, they get that as well.
That's really cool. Okay, so how long are these retreats? We know we've got the 3-day and the 6-day retreats for people. Those are they start at 1900.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So the three nights, 4 days retreat is 1,900, and the next one, if you want to stay for the full week, is the 2,600. There is also one. And it includes all your food, includes your lodging, everything. So there's transportation from the airport. If you're coming into Salt Lake City, you fly to Salt Lake City and you be picked up. So it includes everything. You just come and be pampered for the week. Have a personal chef making all your food right there at the inn. So yeah, we want you just to write. That's it. We're just here to work. We don't want you out there cooking and anything like that. It is a full week of work.
But basically what you do at the 3-day and the week events is you herd the cats in their brains and help them to get their story on the paper.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So now the month-long retreats, this is the nonprofit part.
Yes.
Are there different versions of those? Are they week-long, 2 weeks, month-long, or are they all month-long? How does that work? Do we know yet?
So for the actual coming to and staying at the tiny home, my goal is to make that month-long sabbaticals where you're actually staying there for the whole time, because it's about community. And if I have people coming in for a weekend or coming in for a week, then it becomes more of a B&B of some kind, or it's not really what the focus is. The focus is we work stronger together and having that community, other people doing the same thing that you're doing, so you can support each other. So those will be for month-long sabbaticals.
And then I'm curious about one thing. Are there going to be themed sabbaticals? Or is it just whoever's coming, you work with that person?
No, there's a whole application process, and I will have a board of directors that will be going through all the applications. And what are you writing, so that I compare you with someone who's writing something similar. So we don't have someone that's writing a memoir and someone who's writing a science fiction book. There's going to be a breakdown there, and that's not the point of it. So yes, the application process will allow the board of directors to be able to assign the appropriate community that we want you to be in.
That's really special. And then is this going to be year round, or is it, certain seasons?
Yes, right now it's just going to be your spring into the fall. So it would not be happening in the winter.
And where you are located is where?
I am outside of Salt Lake City.
So when does winter, what are the months that you're not going to be in?
Right. So I would say that these would be done November through, they would not be happening in November, December, January, February, March, April. I would probably start them May through October.
May through October. And that's a gorgeous time there.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And will there be, you're in the sabbatical, you're in for a month, you've got a personal chef too, or because they're in their tiny house, are they able to make their own food? What's the deal?
All their food is included. So yes, even though there is a kitchen in the tiny home, it's really for a little, something that you want to make yourself, but no, the food will be included.
Okay, and you're there, you're on the sabbatical. Do you do like a weekly store trip, or do you do any outings or anything like that? How's that work?
Yeah, so yes, we would like to be able to take some outings, because you come, especially if you're not from Utah, you might want to see this
beautiful state. We love camping there a lot.
Yes, there's so many things to see here. That is just, so we could, there's so many parks. We have 5 national parks. There's so many state parks that are just as gorgeous. So yeah, there'll be some day trips in there to take a break from our writing, because sometimes when you put the writing aside, you come back with fresh eyes. Yes.
Yeah, I call it percolating. And sometimes I have students or other writers ask me questions, and you can't get to the answer until you have time to percolate. And it's not necessarily active thinking either. Sometimes people will laugh about, well, it came to me while I was in the shower or something like that. Well, it's not a false statement, because when you're doing other things, those things are still percolating in your subconscious. So sometimes when you get out and get that activity, you go take a walk, especially out in the gorgeous spring, summer, fall time in Utah in the Rocky Mountains. I'm in Montana, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Beautiful. and you get that fresh air in, you see God's green earth, and you're just like, wow, you know, it really helps that those percolating back there, and it's nice. It's very helpful.
Right. And these road trips too, because we're together and we can be talking while we're doing this. And a lot of times it's just getting away from the writing, but and then also being with other people who are writing, you can bounce things off of them and come away with some good stuff.
I love that. Well, thank you, Katy Lee, for being with me today.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Your website is katyleebooks.com.
Yes,
and
everything is there.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. And folks will be back again, but Katy Lee, wow, this is a dream. It's a wonderful dream. And I can't wait to see all of this come to fruition for our writers out there who really need what you're offering. Thank you.
Thank you.